Hi, my name is Shareef OT, and for my biology role model project, I picked someone who I thought was really cool and makes, learning cool, and that's Dr. Kafuya Jazarasa. He's a neuroscientist and psychiatrist at Duke University, and his work connects biology, engineering, and mental health. What makes him so interesting is that he doesn't treat science just as just like statistics or data. He treats it like a story about people. And that's exactly the kind of scientist that I genuinely want to be like. So, on to his early life and kind of his education and background. Jezra also grew up in Maryland with Ghanaian parents. He went to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and joined the Mayer-of Scholars Program, which helps students from underrepresented backgrounds break into STEM. Later, he earned both his MD and PhD at Duke, becoming the first black student ever to do that there. He said that mentorship kept him going when things got tough, something I think every student could relate to. So, what are his hobbies? What's his personality like? Okay, so, Jazaraza, outside the lab, he mixes science with hip-hop. He's very into music. Again, more specifically with hip-hop. He's been also featured on the Story Collider and Science Friday podcast, using rhythm and beats to explain how the brain fires off signals. So, imagine hearing about neurons in 4x4 time. That's basically his vibe. He also mentors young scientists and reminds them that science should include culture, not erase it. Personally, I think that's really cool. That's pretty genius because people remember a good beat way better than a boring chart, and that's kind of how I relate to things. Why I admire him. So what I admire most is how he connects intelligence with empathy. In one of his interviews, like this one was called the Wire interview, he talks about using electrical engineering to design new ways to treat mental illnesses. He's not just chasing data, he's chasing understanding. As a neuroscience major, I respect that mindset. He's proof that science can be smart, technical, and still full of heart. Okay, so let's focus. In his lab, Dr. Jazaraza studies how the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part, talks to the amygdala, which handles emotion. Think of it like as a group chat between logic and feelings, and sometimes that chat gets messy. His field, neuroengineering, uses electrical signals and technology to figure out what's happening in that conversation. The NIH Pioneer Award recognized him for being brave enough to combine engineering and psychiatry. Okay, so for my research paper and data, these are two figures. One is the schematic, and the other one is the actual data. So, let me give you some insight or context. In 2019, he published a study in Nature Neuroscience that blew people's mind. His team recorded brain activity in mice to see what stress does to communication between the prefrontal cortex and, again, the amygdala. The figure you see here shows that under stress, those brain areas stop syncing, and the bright color fades. Basically, when stress hits, the brain's group chat goes silent. It proved mental illness isn't only about chemistry, it's also about disrupted circuit connections. And that was a huge game changer in understanding. So basically, after that, his lab kept innovating. A 2018 Cell paper showed that brainwave patterns can actually predict vulnerability to depression. Now he's using machine learning and brain simulation to restore healthy rhythms. Kind of like a neurological, Remus personalized mental health treatment turned to each person's brain activity. So, conclusion. To me, Dr. Kafuya Jazaraza represents the best version of science. He's very creative, he's inclusive, and very human. He's proof that you can be serious about research and still have fun. Still be yourself and still make a difference. His story reminds me why I study neuroscience, to help out people to think bigger and to stay curious. So, yeah, that's my project. Thanks for listening. This is my citations.